Something I've been having a hard time with recently is this thing right here. Because I think what a lot of people don't realize is that you're competing with everyone and everything constantly for your attention, right? And to win this constant warfare, this battle for your attention, you need to be able to control your mind because winning this contest of ideas, winning in the marketplace of attention, comes down to how you control your mind and how you're able to communicate your ideas. And your brain is basically just like a toddler. If you put candy in front of your brain, it's just going to eat and eat and eat all the time. If you put only brain rot in front of your brain, that's all your brain's going to be consuming because it's easy, it's fast, it's cheap. And so something I've been reflecting on a lot recently is how important it is to control my mind. Because if I'm constantly wasting time on this thing right here, I'm going to lose because there is so much noise going on all around us. There is this power of like attention gravity. What do you allow into the gravitational pull of your mind? What dominates your time and your thinking? Because everyone knows, everyone talks about this, that your best ideas, they come in the shower. They come when you're on a walk. They come when you're on a drive. You need to create and cultivate that space to think. You need to develop what's growing in your mind garden and not just dump more and more stuff in there, right? And so how I experience this is that I'm overwhelmed by inputs. There's always like YouTube videos I'm watching, things that I'm doing, and it's all good stuff. I'm scrolling for inspiration. I'm watching a YouTube video on entrepreneurship or whatever. There's all of these inputs. But as I increase the amount of inputs, I also start to get trapped in the comparison game where I think, oh, this person's so much further ahead of me or whatever it is. And then as I get sucked into this, not only do I get trapped in the comparison game, my attention just fractures because it's in 10 million different spaces. What you want is an attention line straight from point A to point B, and that's it, nothing else. And so without your phone, something magical starts to happen. Without your phone, you get to see what you actually care about, right? Not what everyone else is saying you need to be doing, not what everyone else is saying that you should be caring about or that should be important to you. You get to have a moment alone with yourself. And maybe that's what we're really scared of, is finally having a moment of complete silence by yourself and what that means, what you're left with, you know? And so for me, this is a constant battle because my phone, this piece of metal and and glass that I keep in my pocket all the time, is an amazing tool. It really is an amazing tool. I've made this goal for myself in 2026 to document my life more, to take more photos, more videos so that I can go back and I can see, hey, I was doing this thing on this day or whatever it is. I use it to stay in touch with friends and family, with mentors, and with people that I want in my life. Your phone is just the way that you do that. There's pretty much no way around that. And the other one is that from this thing, this little rectangle in my pocket, I'm able to make money. How crazy is that? When you really stop and think about it, how would I even explain this to like an Aztec emperor or something like that, that I can make things happen just with this little brick? It's pretty insane. So one of my goals is to reassess my relationship with my phone, to reduce the inputs that I have, even if they seem productive or harmless, like checking that message while I'm working or watching a video while I'm eating or whatever it is. I want to just reduce the sheer number of inputs that I have throughout the day. Because what this will do is it will reduce the cognitive load. One of the worst things you can do, and I struggle with this a lot, is context switching, moving between different things that you're doing. And the more little things that occupy space in your gray matter, the less mental real estate you have to focus solely on one problem. right? So you need to reduce the number of inputs to expand your cognitive bandwidth to be able to execute at a higher level. And so as you are able to do that, the quality of your work will increase and you'll be able to access the flow state easier, meaning your work's gonna be more fun, you're going to get it done faster, and again, the quality is going to be way better. And so the easiest way that I found to do this is to bring your offline life online, or said another way, to make your offline life so interesting that you don't even want to go back to the online space. So for me, this means deleting all non-essential apps on my phone. Anything that distracts me that is not necessary for my day to day, I just remove straight away. My phone is always on do not disturb, pretty much 24/7, and I have these exceptions set up on my phone so that like my wife can reach me anytime, but no one else can, right? You got to keep the wife happy. Um, and the other is that I have spaces and time during my day and in my life that are just no phones. I do not use my phone no matter what. And what this allows me to focus on, what this means for me, is that instead of being glued to this screen in front of me, instead I get to farm experiences. I get to observe new things. I get to make new insights because my brain finally gets the opportunity to look around and see what's actually happening, to be able to observe, to get creative, and to come up with my own insights rather than just relying on what everyone else is saying and thinking and doing. And then what I can do is I can take those things that I'm doing offline and I can share those online. And immediately you have a unique perspective. You have a story that you can tell and you have beyond surface level insights. And that's an easy way to stand out. You don't have to copy anyone or do anything crazy. And so the question I've been asking myself recently is, who am I without my phone? I think that's something worth sitting with. You know, what's left if I am not mindlessly scrolling at 11 p.m.? What might I do with my life? So far, the answer's been a lot. So, who are you without your phone, I guess?